story time on how my husband was no longer attracted to me but caught him getting off on AI. My husband and I have struggled with attraction for 3 years. 3 years ago, my husband, let's call him Mark, has told me that he was losing attraction by only 25% due to weight gain from pregnancy with his children. To be clear, I'm comfortable with how I look, and I feel like I'm even more beautiful due to the weight that I've gained and the curves that I have now. Mark always brings up how he would find me more attractive if I went to the gym. Now, I am a logical person and I think with logic, so I understand where my husband Mark is coming from. Me and Mark separated 3 times over this issue, and anytime I bring up divorce, he says it's unfair and that he would never divorce me over a weight gain, but has not been intimate with me for 3 years. He says not being intimate with me for the 3 years has something to do with how he was born and how he thinks, because he's not attracted to fat women, but also doesn't want divorce. I believe the 10 years we've been together and the few kids we share together, that would be more meaningful and valuable than my weight gain. Always tell him he should forget about how I look and love me for me. He agrees, but also continues to say that he can never change that part of himself, that the weight gain is just too much. Although we are madly in love with each other, I brought up divorce 3 days ago due to a lack of intimacy. Intimate once a month, that's if I'm lucky. I feel this will never change and we should just get divorced. He says he can't get over editing AI videos of me being anorexic, with a big bust and surrounded by men gawking over me, because it's his fantasy. I'm convinced if he keeps comparing me with these AIs to when I was 140 pounds to now 215 pounds, then he'll never want to be physical. Angry, I would even suggest divorcing, and states the only real reason to divorce is due to infidelity and not due to lack of attraction. So, am I the asshole for wanting divorce? We've gone to marriage counseling. He's gone to 2 separate marriage counsels. Also says I'm wrong for going through his phone to see that he is still editing AI photos of me to get off on his pleasure instead of us spending intimate times together. Scared to leave him because we have kids and this is my first relationship. So I don't know if it's an appropriate reason to get a divorce. What should I do?
Okay, I have to pause right there because my jaw is on the floor. This isn't just he's not attracted to me. This is psychological warfare. Let's look at the facts. He says he's losing attraction because of pregnancy weight gain, which, by the way, you birthed his children, give me a break. But then, the twist, he is editing photos of her to look anorexic. Not just skinny, but anorexic. That is a fetishization of illness. That is a man who is not in love with a human being. He is in love with a pixelated distortion of reality. And the gaslighting? Telling her divorce is only for infidelity? No, sir. Divorce is for when your partner stops seeing you as a person and starts treating you like a raw file they need to Photoshop. If he's getting off on AI versions of a sick you while the healthy real you is right there, that's not a marriage. That's a hostage situation. Speaking of hostage situations and people who refuse to respect boundaries, let's talk about the female best friend trope, because this next one is textbook manipulation.
Story time about my boyfriend's crazy ass girl best friend, like batshit crazy to the walls girl best friend, and y'all are gonna tell me if I should leave or if I should stay. Okay, this is just a tiny little bit of background information, but he met her while we were together through work. And in the beginning, he did not tell me about her because he got off of work at 9 and he was staying until like 12 a.m. just saying that the boss wanted him to stay later, but he would be at like hotels, bars, and clubs. And then I finally confronted him about it. I was like, what are you doing till this time? Because I know you're not staying at work, and I know you're not going to the club or the hotel with your boss. Like, the bar is a little bit believable here and there, but it was like getting consistently almost every single time he was working. So when I confront him, he was like, I was just scared to tell you because I didn't want you to get mad, but I met this girl through my work and she's super sweet, but she's just my girl best friend. It's nothing like that. Also, I forgot to add this in, but they were consistently texting and FaceTiming at night after he told me. And they did not allow me to hear their FaceTime calls. Like, he would go downstairs to the living room and I was not allowed to go down there. And like, he put a camera up to where he could see if I was walking down the stairs. We're gonna name his guy best friend Matt. He was like, Matt is also best friends with her, so I promise you it's nothing like that. So I was like, whatever, let me meet her. So we all planned to go to dinner and I meet her and she's just being super suspicious, refused to sit on the other side of the table with Matt. She had to sit next to my boyfriend. So my boyfriend was like, why don't you go sit on the other side with Sarah so you guys can get to know each other a little more. She still would not talk to me until at one point she like leaned over to the side of me and whispered in my ear and said, if you stop him from being able to see me, I will come for you. Excuse me? Excuse me. So it comes for the time to pay, and for some reason my boyfriend pays for her but doesn't pay for me. So then his guy best friend gets a little confused. He's like, why aren't you paying for Sarah? So then Matt pays for me. I also forgot to add in this part, but when it was time to leave, she got up and gave him the biggest freaking hug and gave him a kiss on the cheek, and so did he, but she didn't give one to Matt. We go home, we have a conversation. I'm like, I don't really like her. I don't want you guys hanging out after work. I prefer you guys to just hang out at work. So he texts her and has this conversation. It's like, we need to lean back a little bit on the hanging out after work. And she shows up to our house crying. And he goes outside and he's out there for an hour in the car with her, like hugging her, comforting her. At this point, it's like 2 a.m. So I go out there and I'm like, he needs to come inside and like, we need to go to bed. We both have work in the morning. And she's like, you don't understand. Like, you can't cut him out of my life. Like, you can't stop us from hanging out after work. Like, he's my only friend. I'm like, you have Matt. Matt doesn't have a girlfriend. Hang out with Matt. And she was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I've never felt more connected to someone like I do with your boyfriend. At this point, I'm just like, whatever. Y'all can hang out 2 times a week after work. No more. And we have date night every Wednesday. And I told her that. He told her that. We made that very clear. She makes plans to hang out with him on Wednesday. He says that he cannot come after work. Okay, for some reason on this particular Wednesday, her car was in the shop and wasn't working. So my boyfriend had to give her a ride home. And once they got to her house, she starts threatening like, oh, I'll kill myself if you leave, like, please don't leave me all myself, and just a bunch of crazy stuff. And he stays, and he didn't end up getting back home until like 4 a.m. the next morning. And he keeps like apologizing to me, and like, I don't know what to do, if I should break up with him or if I should stay and give him another chance. But he has to cut this girl best friend off. So yeah, let me know what I should do, guys. Bye.
If you stop him from seeing me, I will come for you. Excuse me? Is this real life or a bad soap opera? Look, I am all for platonic friendships between men and women, but this ain't that. The 4 a.m. returns, the crying in the car, and the ultimate manipulation card, threatening self-harm if he leaves, that is the oldest, most toxic trick in the book. And here's the hard truth for the girlfriend. Your boyfriend isn't a victim here. He is a volunteer. He loves the attention. He loves having 2 women fighting over his time. A man who respects his relationship shuts that down immediately. He doesn't sit in a car for an hour comforting her while you're upstairs. Girl, run. You are the third wheel in your own relationship. It's frustrating when men don't stand up for you, but sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands and embarrass them right back.
My boyfriend said that I don't have a bikini body, so I took my top off in front of all of his friends. So we were on the beach with his group of friends, and about 15 guys were there. That is why what he said was even more hurtful and embarrassing. When we got to the beach, I am that person that immediately has to go into the water, but I was the only one, so I went alone, and my boyfriend and all of his friends just stayed talking on the towels. So about like 15 minutes after, I get out of the water and I'm walking towards where my boyfriend and his friends all are. I noticed that my boyfriend was like looking at me, staring at me whilst I was walking with a smirk on his face. I thought he was about to say something sweet, but no. As soon as I come closer to them, my boyfriend says very loudly and in front of everyone, you should wear a one-piece because you don't really have a bikini body. If he was trying to be funny, like, it didn't work because everybody just was awkward. None of them laughed, obviously, because like, why would you laugh at that? Nobody said a word, and for like 10 seconds, I just stared at my boyfriend in disbelief and thinking about what I was gonna do. There's no way that he's gonna embarrass me in front of all of his friends, and I'm not gonna humiliate him back. So I pulled off the top part of my bikini, and I stood there in front of all of his friends, and I said,
Well, now it's a one piece. He immediately got up screaming and stood in front of me to try and cover me up. He started screaming, saying, "Are you crazy? Put something on immediately." I then also very loudly said, "I don't even know why you bother wearing shorts since it's so small, no one would even notice it." No one said a word too, and for the rest of the day, I just lay down tanning with my now one piece.
Yes, the moment she took that top off, cinematic masterpiece. Listen, he wanted to play a stupid game, and he won a stupid prize. He tried to humiliate her in front of 15 of his boys by saying she doesn't have a bikini body. First of all, do you have a bikini body, Brad? Probably not. But her reaction was perfect because it mirrored his absurdity. He wanted to shame her into covering up, so she uncovered everything. It neutralized his power instantly. And that comment about his small shorts, emotional damage, critical hit. This is how you handle a bully, even if that bully is your boyfriend. Actually, especially if it's your boyfriend. While we're on the topic of people with absolutely zero self-awareness, have you ever dated someone who seemed a little too eager to be taken care of?
This video is for everyone who's ever said they were going to switch to women because men ain't shit. Let me tell you about the weekend I just had, okay? Let me set the scene. I've been talking to this girl for about a week, not long. She drives 10 hours to come see me, okay? Before she gets here, she's telling me she loves doing acts of service for her woman. And I'm like, that's great because that's how I feel cared for. Like, that's help make my life easier, please. All right. So she's like, coffee, breakfast in bed. I'm taking the trash out. I'm like, come see me, like, come over. Okay. So she gets here. Mind you, she just left a couple of hours ago. She spent the last 3 days here in my house. And I made coffee for this woman every single morning. And so this morning, I'm like, let me test it a little bit. I'm just going to see if she even offers. I'm like, man, some coffee sounds really good. You know what she said to me? Yeah, you make really good coffee. Your coffee's really good. Like, bitch, I know. I've been making it for myself for the past several years. I thought you were going to help me. No. And so, mind you, she had been up for like 30 minutes to an hour before me. Like, she was drinking a Monster. She was already like her hat on, ready, like reading in bed, waiting for me. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I'm gonna take trash out. It's full, whatever. She's at this point sitting on the couch reading, and I'm like walking past her, about to go walk my dog, and I'm taking the trash out. Did not offer once, and I'm like, okay, it's really not matching. Words and actions just not aligning. Okay, and so then I come back in, and she wants to talk to me about her stupid ass book she's reading about Carl Dungeon, some princess donut cat, the end of the world, and it's a video game. Bitch, if you don't get out of my motherfucking house, and not only that, but I had to sit here and really act interested all weekend. I spent 4 hours at a bar watching a football game. The Bills. I had to listen to her talk about Magic the Gathering all weekend. I had to open up. She spent $250 on sports cards. And I opened one pack. And she's like, do you want to open one pack? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I don't really give a fuck, but I'll do it. And then the whole time I did it, she was like hovering over my shoulder, like, okay, but don't get your fingerprints on it. You have to open it this way and only touch on this way. I'm like, bitch, take that. I don't even want to open the cards. I don't even care. And then if all of that wasn't enough, we argued the very first night that she got here. Full-blown argument, silent treatment on the way back. And it was so bad. Every single time she asked me how I felt about something and I told her, I ended up apologizing because apparently she took everything I said as criticism, made herself the victim in every fucking situation. And apparently I'm having to apologize for how I make her feel. Please just stay where you're at. I don't know. It's terrible on both sides.
Oh, I know this type. We call this the Hobosexual. They aren't looking for a relationship. They are looking for a lease agreement and a maid. She drove 10 hours, stayed in your house for 3 days, drank your coffee, and didn't lift a finger? And then had the nerve to say, your coffee is really good, while you're standing there struggling? The audacity is actually impressive. It's the weaponized incompetence for me. And then complaining that you made her fuba because you have boundaries? Classic. She didn't want a partner. She wanted a mommy who plays Magic the Gathering. Good for you for sending her packing. Next time, check the credit score before the first date. But bad manners aren't just for dates. Sometimes your own friends are the ones making you want to crawl under a table in public.
You guys, I used to have a friend who used to return all her meals every single time we went to a restaurant. And the first few times she did it, I didn't really think nothing of it until I picked up on what she was doing. And then it started to piss me off. One, She was always broke, like always broke. So a lot of the times, I always help my homegirls. I do not care if you have no money. If I want to go eat, I'm gonna pay for you. Anyways, it got to the point where I was paying for everything. So eventually I was just like, hey girl, like I can't pay for every single meal. Like it was starting to come to the point where like they were inviting me and then I was paying. So I had to cut that out. I had to nip that shit in the bud, right? So anyways, I was like, yeah, so I'm not going to be paying for the meals anymore or whatever. So if y'all invite me, okay? If I invite you, yes, of course. Anyways, so the first time it happened, she ordered her food. She got it and she was like, it's not what I want. I didn't expect it to look like this. Sent it back. She kept doing it and I was like, girl, like, what do you like? Or she'll take like a few bites of it and then she'll be like, oh yeah, this is not how it is supposed to be cooked. And then she would send it back. And when I tell you, she did it every single time we went out. If I was not paying for that meal, she was sending it back. So this one time I was like, hey girl, like, why do you do that? Like, you always order and then you always say you don't like it as soon as it gets to the table. And she's like, yeah, because I think it's going to look good and then it doesn't. And I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of embarrassing because you do it every time now. And we were going to restaurants, like my favorite restaurant was Black Rock at the time. We would go there multiple times. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're picking up on the fact that you always bring the food back. Like, why? I'm picking it up, so I know they're picking it up. Anyway, she makes up some type of excuse and then we just drop the subject. About a week goes by and they invite me out to eat again. And, mind you, we're like a trio. All three of us go out. So me and the other friend who goes out with us, she actually texted me. She goes, hey, do you want to go out to eat with me and so-called? I said, yeah. But I was like, can I tell you something? She's like, yeah. I was like, she keeps returning the food and it's kind of like, I just don't like it. I was like, and it's not like she's returning the food in a nice way. She's being hella rude about it because she's trying to almost portray like it's their fault. So they take the food back. Like, so she does it rude as hell. Like she's like, it's not what I wanted. Y'all didn't do something right. So it's not even like she's just returning these meals. She's trying to gaslight them into thinking that they are doing something wrong. And it's embarrassing because she gets in full on arguments. Like the waitress will be like, but you said this. And she'll be like, no, I didn't. And she'll be like, yeah, you did. And it's just embarrassing. Like, and I was like, so if she's going to do that, I was like, I don't want to go. So you better talk to her and tell her, do not return no food. So y'all, we get to this restaurant, right? We get to the restaurant and we order our food. She orders her food. The food gets here and I can tell in her face she's about to return it. We go to this really nice restaurant and she orders a salad. She comes with the salad, but it's a nice steakhouse, so it's in a wedge. And with the toppings on top. And she goes, I didn't ask for this. I asked for lettuce and ranch. That's it. And she goes, no, you said the salad and this is what comes on the salad. She goes, well, I didn't mean that. I meant lettuce and ranch. So can you return this? Bro, I about damn near snapped. I looked at her and I wasn't even, I was like, if you're going to talk to her like that, I'm going to talk to you crazy. I look at her and I said, are you 5? I was like, are you a child? Who eats lettuce and ranch? And the waitress is sitting there like, I'm like, no, because you want to embarrass me again? I'm about to embarrass you. And I was like, why would you order lettuce and ranch? Or why wouldn't you ask this poor lady what it comes with if it was so, if she should have known just to get you lettuce and ranch? How was she supposed to know that? I'm like, don't do that again. So the waitress goes, gets you the food, puts it down, and she goes, she looks at it and goes, yeah, just take it back. This is not it. This is not the type of salad I want. Blah, blah, blah. So, you know what? The lady picks up, she looks at her, picks up the plate and walks away. Now we all look like some broke bitches, okay? We all look like some little childish ass little girls eating lettuce and ranch, okay? So as she gets up, I look at her. I said, you said you weren't going to do this. I look at my other friend. I said, you said she wasn't going to do this. She's being rude as fuck to the staff. She's sending back lettuce and ranch. I was like, we were in a nice ass steakhouse. So it was just Ruth Chris. But I was like, she cannot be doing this. She ordered food. I was like, anyways, I'm snapping on her. And she goes, you know what? My steak, tell them I don't even want it. And she gets up and walks out. I'm about to explode. I look at my other friend and I said, do you realize she can't afford these meals? And that's why she's sending it back. She's ordering food to portray that she can afford these meals. And then when she realizes she can't, she sends it back after 3 bites. So it makes her look like she can afford it, but she just doesn't want it. And then she's yelling at these poor waitresses, making us, gaslighting them into thinking this is their fault, like they did something wrong. I was like, that's exactly what she's doing. And if you don't see that, my other friend's like, no, I get what you're saying. Like, I see the pattern. She just doesn't want to say I can't afford the meal. So instead, she orders the meal, finds something wrong with it, and then sends it back. I said, yes, and it's embarrassing. I said, she's embarrassing me. She's rude to the staff. Like, I don't do this. I don't come out just to sit here and fake order food. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, you guys, I never went out to eat with her again. We kind of fell out after that. We just slowly stopped hanging out. I told my other friend, my other friend was always frustrated with her, but she just did not want, I don't know, to tell her, to break the news to her. And I just can't do that. I can't be around somebody that I don't like, who do actions that I don't like, and just sit there and accept it. And that's what my other friend did. She would just accept it and be frustrated. She was just as mad as me all the time, but never wanted to say anything. So I just ended up, I was like, you know what, I kind of outgrew y'all, and it's just, I don't like this, you know? But yeah, that's the story. This is not the finished product. I'm just done with the story, just so you know. Don't be like, oh, your makeup looks ugly. It's not done.
We all have that one friend, don't we? The returner. But this is next level. Ordering a wedge salad at a steakhouse and getting mad that it's not just lettuce and ranch, that is the behavior of a toddler. But the storyteller nailed the psychology here. It's performance art. She's broke, but she wants the aesthetic of the expensive meal without the price tag. So she orders it, takes a photo for the gram, acts disappointed, and sends it back to save money. It's calculated. It's gaslighting the poor waitress just to protect her own ego. Cutting that friend off wasn't mean, it was necessary for your own sanity. You can't take people like that to Ruth's Chris. Take them to McDonald's. Dealing with embarrassing friends is one thing, but dealing with actual predators is a whole different level of fear. This next story gave me chills.
Long-awaited story time on what happened to me when I was at Walmart alone a couple days ago. We're just gonna get straight into the story time while I do some skincare. A couple days ago, my boyfriend was at work and I was at home alone with the baby. I felt like I needed something to film, so I went to Walmart to pick up some ingredients to make a hair mask. I pull into the Walmart parking lot and instantly there's no spots in the front of Walmart, so like a regular person, I go towards the back of Walmart and park back there because that's where there were spots. When I pull in, there's immediately a black truck, but I didn't think nothing of it. I mean, everyone has black trucks. It's a very common car, but there was a man standing outside of the truck. Again, didn't think nothing of it. Maybe he was waiting to get groceries, whatever the case was. I don't like to think of people in that way. So I just proceeded to park and get my baby out of the car. I'm getting my baby out of the car. This man is staring at me, and I know he's staring at me because I can feel it. You can feel when someone is staring at you. So I keep looking back and he is still staring at me. He watches me get my son out of the car, put my son in the cart, and then he's still staring at me. I then lock my car and start heading towards the Walmart. And I'm a pretty far distance away, so I do have to walk a little bit. I'm walking away, the man stops me and says, "Your lights are still on your car." Which was weird, it's just weird. So whatever, I just kind of brushed it off. I looked back at my car, the outside of the car lights were on, but those always turn off because I had locked my car. They always end up turning off. But I did leave the light inside my car on. He didn't see that though. He thought I was talking about the outside lights of my car. So I go back inside my car and turn off that light. Mind you, it was only on because I was filming a video. It was weird, but again, I brushed it off. I don't like to think of people in that way. So I kept walking and I could still feel him staring at me. So I'm filming, but I'm also looking back and keep looking back because I just see him literally looking at me. just looking at me. Wouldn't consider it that he followed me. I did say the words he like there was a man following me, but it just kind of felt like that. He wasn't physically following me. It was more just like staring me down. I go into Walmart and everything's fine. I'm getting all of the things. I saw the things for the soup dumplings. I wanted to buy those. And then I was making the video of the hair mask. So I just went about my day and bought my stuff. I didn't see if there was anyone in the store following me because again, my mind didn't click it together. So I wasn't looking out for that. I have no idea if there was anyone in the store following me. I'm not gonna say there was when I didn't see nothing. I had to go and pay for my things. I paid for everything and I'm walking towards my car. I'm exiting the Walmart and I can see the man at my car. He is at my car, like not at his car, he's at my car. I don't think that he saw me coming out of Walmart yet, but once he did see me walking towards my car, because I started walking towards my car, he ran back to his car. Mind you, my car's right here and his car's right here. So he literally ran from here and ran over here. I don't know what he did to my car. I don't know if he did anything, but obviously immediately I'm scared. I get to my car, immediately I'm like, this guy was just at my car. I don't know if he put anything in my car. I don't know if he put a tracker on my car. I don't know what the frick this guy just freaking did to my car. He's in his car now. He got inside of his car and he was just waiting, like staring me again, because I kept looking at his car and I could see him staring at me. So immediately I don't get in the car. I'm outside of my car. There's like people around me, so I feel safe, but the guy is still staring at me. I call my mom immediately and I tell her the situation. Mind you, my mom is trained for this. So she tells me what to do. She tells me to walk back into Walmart, stay around people. Okay. She calls my uncle. My uncle is military. So he comes from his house and he comes to like basically spy. Not spy, but like spy. He tells me when he gets there to go to my car, get inside of it, and start driving towards my uncle's house, not my house, so that if they do follow me, Dude, this whole time I'm back in Walmart, which is where I filmed that last clip. I'm back in Walmart and I'm just kind of waiting for my uncle to get there around where my car is at. He gets there and what you guys didn't see is that I walked to my car and started driving my car towards my uncle's house. My uncle told me, we're gonna see if they follow you, if he follows you, and if he does, then he's got me, he's right there behind me. If he doesn't, I'm gonna drive my car to my uncle's house. My uncle will check out my car, making sure there's no trackers or nothing. Now, I didn't call the police because I didn't know if it was a situation like that serious. I really just I'm the type of person like, oh, okay, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal, whatever. But you just never know. Once I'm walking out to my car, the guy starts his car whenever I start my car. And I immediately get shaky. Mind you, this whole time I'm on the phone with my mom and my uncle on a 3-way call, just making sure everything is good. I start leaving and now there's another truck with another guy in it and they start leaving as well. After that, didn't see the trucks, don't know what happened. I drove to my uncle's car, he checked it, nothing was there, nothing was out of the ordinary, and it was just gone. To this day, I don't know what their intentions were. I don't know if they were trying to hurt me, if they were trying to hurt my son, whatever. But I'm just glad I took precautions as if they were, because you just never know. Nothing ended up happening. My boyfriend did end up leaving work and I just came home and went live. Everything was regular. To this day, I haven't seen the cars or anything. Hopefully I never do. It was a really scary experience, especially as a 17-year-old mom with a 1-year-old kid. Like, I was all alone and it definitely was something really scary, and I'm just so glad nothing like worse happened. But yeah, that is the story on what happened. I have no idea what they were trying to do, if they were trying to do anything. So yeah, I wouldn't say following me around the store, but I definitely would say it was a very creepy scenario and it was very like unsettling. Like, I felt unsafe. This is the story time. Love you guys, and please no negative comments. I really don't need that right now. Love you guys.
This is terrifying because it's so subtle. The guy staring, the comment about the lights to get her to unlock the car or lower her guard, and then running to her car the moment she came out. That wasn't an accident. That was a hunt. I love that she called her mom and uncle immediately. Ladies, listen to me. If your gut says something is wrong, something is wrong. Don't worry about being polite. Don't worry about overreacting. This girl drove to a safe location. She had people on the phone. She stayed in the public eye. She did everything right. That intuition you feel, that is millions of years of evolution trying to keep you alive. Never ignore it. Intuition is a powerful thing. Sometimes it warns you of danger, and sometimes it tells you that you've found the one, even before you've met him.
Story time about how I met my husband at 21. So it was Ramadan of 2023 and I had decided that I wanted to include this dua in all the other duas that I was making for my health and my well-being and my confidence. I was like, ya Allah, let's just throw in a husband in there. Let's just ask for a man. And I literally asked for everything in detail, how I wanted him to be, his character. And I basically just said, ya Allah, keep him close to you and keep me close to you so that we can find each other. And I was like, that's not romantic. I don't know why. Imagine a guy is making that dua for you. Ya Allah, keep her close. husband isn't using me. Okay, y'all can assume whatever you want, but me and him are happy, and if you just want to be jealous, you can be jealous. Like, I can tell that you're jealous just because you're making fun of him. So yeah. And so he came to Canada after all the paperwork on the 1st of February in 2025, and he's been in Canada for about 11 months now. So it hasn't even been a full year, but like, subhanAllah, he did so much within those 11 months that like, I'm just so proud of him. And you know, he has a lot of potential, and he has so many like ideas and things that he wants to do. He doesn't want me to share them on here, but like, you know, just know that he has a job, okay? Chill. Being financially stable, yes, it's important, but you should also have the mindset of someone who can be financially stable. Like, he is very smart with his money, and I knew that before getting married to him, and knowing that like he was gonna have to start from the ground up when he came here was another thing. Otherwise, he already had a job and everything. He was providing for his family back in Pakistan, but like, you know, coming to a new country, obviously you have to start over. So, you know, you can't just assume that someone's being lazy just because they're new here and they're taking advantage. Like that's a misconception that I want to like debunk, and like I want to normalize the idea that, you know, if you're gonna marry someone from outside the country, like, you know, obviously you should make sure that they're a good person. And like, you know, you shouldn't just assume that they're not going to be a good person just because they're not from the same country as you, if you don't mind marrying someone from outside the country. All of this to say, the reason why we're actually able to do the things that we do right now is because my parents are supporting us, and, you know, we're working hard on making sure that we find our own way in life. And obviously we still need to figure out how we're going to get on our own 2 feet and, you know, get our own place. But like, this is just my unique situation, and everything's working fine for me, alhamdulillah. Like, you know, I'm trusting God's plan. We're not freaking out about anything, and we're just so grateful to have a support system that cares and is doing whatever they can to help us. And yeah, make sure that you are just looking for all the things that you need in a man, and make sure that you are not tearing down your non-negotiables and overly compromising. Just like, make sure that you are able to find an in-between, and make sure that you guys actually do feel compatible. But yeah, that was my story time.
Subhanallah, this is beautiful. Whether you are religious or not, you have to appreciate the intentionality here. She didn't just ask for a husband, she visualized the character, the family connection, the specific dynamic. And the lion sign? Come on! Asking to see a lion and then finding out his name means lion. That is the universe winking at you. But what I love most is that she wasn't desperate. She was certain. She trusted the timing. And look at the result. Families connecting, deep understanding, ADHD compatibility without even trying. It's proof that when you are clear about what you want, and you work on yourself, like she did with her other duas, things align in ways you can't even plan. And sometimes that alignment takes years. It takes growing up, breaking up, and finding your way back to where you started.
I've only had one boyfriend in my entire 24 years of life, so let's talk about how Andrew and I met. I feel like our relationship lore goes a lot deeper than what most people expect. I've known Andrew since I was 17 years old, so at this point I've known him for like a quarter of my life, which is honestly crazy. We met junior year of high school, but we didn't go to the same school. Instead, we met through a mutual friend. Shout out Maggie if you're watching this. Maggie and I went to the same high school, and then Andrew and Maggie both swam at the same club swimming team, if that makes sense. So basically, Maggie posted a story on Snapchat of me and her, like a mirror selfie or something, and then Andrew slid up on her story and was like, "Who is that girl?" talking about me. So we exchanged Snapchats, and we were just talking on there for a little bit, and then we found out that either that weekend or the weekend after, we were all gonna go to the same concert. So Andrew, Maggie, and I would be in the same place at the same time. This was BB&T Pavilion. If you know, you know, RIP. So the concert comes around, and we find each other, we meet up in person for the first time, and that's when I had my first kiss. I don't even know if my parents know that, but one thing that I remember that kind of threw me off, it wasn't really like a catfish moment, but I saw him and he smiled in person, and I realized like, oh, he still has braces, which literally is fine. Like, we're in high school, like obviously you're gonna have braces in high school, but at that time, like, I had gotten my braces off like 2 years before, and so did like everyone else that I was friends with. and I had never seen him smile with teeth like when we were talking on Snapchat. So to see him in person with braces, I was like, whoa. So we're at the concert and we take our first ever photo together, right? The concert ends, like I go home and we're still just like talking on Snapchat. In my head I'm like, I kind of like him, like I don't know, he's cute, but does he like me? I heard that he's kind of a player. Let me tell you guys that this man posted the picture that we had taken together at the concert on his actual Instagram. Like on his Instagram, when Instagram was so serious at the time and like nothing was casual at all, he posted the picture of the two of us. Let me find it and let me show you guys the caption. Right, so this is the picture, July 20th, 2018. If you can see up there, like that was the day that we took this. Let me show you guys what he captioned this. Hey cutie, can I get your number? Winky face. And we're like unintentionally matching with the black top and jean shorts and Vans. I was too stunned to speak at that time. So of course I DM him my phone number and now we're texting, like formally texting. At this point we're like texting for a month and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if we end up dating? Nope, because he gets a girlfriend. Didn't know that I was just a summer girl. So I'm gonna stand on business and I was like, okay, whatever, fine. Forget about you, bye. So that was junior year, right? So junior year ends, like I'm talking to other people, like he's talking to his girlfriend, whatever. The full senior year passes, nothing happens, we don't talk. Summer after senior year, right before going to college, okay? Guess who is back in my messages? Andrew, right, okay. Very interesting. Like, okay, are we about to repeat this whole summer thing again? Like, what's going on? Maybe I'll entertain it because like it's right before we both go off to college, so we'll just see how it is. If it doesn't work out, we're going to college, doesn't matter. We were hanging out basically that entire summer. Like we would get ice cream all the time. He took me on a date to the Philly Zoo, but we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? We were just like hanging out, having a fun time, like enjoying each other's company and just like getting to know each other more and more throughout the summer. But then college comes around, okay? And you guys know I went to college in Philly. I went to St. Joe's. But the thing is, he went to college at St. Louis in Missouri, so very, very far apart. But we had talked like throughout the summer, like, oh, we're gonna be far away from each other. Like, what are we gonna do about this distance? Like, are we gonna do long distance? Mind you, we're still not dating, okay? But we both agreed that we were just gonna keep talking throughout the first semester of college just to see how things go. So this is where things start to get really messy, okay? So we're 3 months into the semester, okay? August, September, October. Not even 3 months, a full 3 months in the semester, okay? I get a phone call from him. Phone call? He never phone calls me. It's always a FaceTime. Like, okay, weird. Phone call, but I'll pick it up. I answer the phone. He goes, I don't think this is gonna work. Ends it with me right then and there. I'm like bawling my eyes out. I like take my girls, all my roommates back then, we go out to a field and I'm just like free screaming like into the air, into the field, because I'm like angry because this is the only person that I've ever truly liked in my life, and for him to just like end it out of nowhere, I was mad, okay? But of course, you know, we're gonna go back to who I am, stand on business. I don't care, go have fun in college. Like, I'll have fun too. It's our freshman year. Like, we don't need to be in a relationship. Bye-bye. I'm like getting heated, like remembering all of this. So what do? I have to protect my peace. Immediate block on all socials, okay? The first semester goes by, like, he's forgotten, okay? I don't talk to him at all. He doesn't talk to me. Like, we haven't communicated until my 18th birthday. Oh my god. So my parents come to my school and pick me up to celebrate my birthday with dinner in the city. We go to Pod, the sushi restaurant. If you know, you know. My dinner's over, we celebrate, I turn 18. I'm on the way back to my dorm, okay? I get a text message. It's him. And he goes, I'm probably the last person you want to hear from right now, but I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Oh my god. Immediately, I'm bawling. I'm crying in the car, but silently, because nobody knows that I'm talking to this man, okay? And this was literally 2 months after he had told me that he didn't want to talk to me anymore. Hello? I don't even remember if I responded. I probably said like, thank you, or I probably like hearted the message, and like that was that because I didn't want to talk to him. So first semester's over, second semester comes around, we're still not talking. then it's COVID. Literally everyone is sent home. So I'm back in Jersey and he's back in Jersey as well. So now this is on me, okay? I'm at home, I'm like suffering through COVID. I get COVID, like I have no social interaction. So what am I gonna do to spice up my life? I'm gonna unblock him from every single social media. Literally a couple nights later, I get a notification on my Snapchat, Andrew has added you as a friend. And in my head, I'm like, they always come back, yep. So we go back to talking, and low-key, we pick up right where we left off the last time that we were talking before, back in October. Everything kind of feels the same, which is so weird. And this is when I find out that he no longer is going to school in St. Louis. He transferred, and he's now going to school in Jersey. And I'm still in Philly. So now it's sophomore year, and like all the COVID restrictions kind of lifted, and we're back in the dorms. So I'm back at school, but he's at home. Right? We are still like talking and like texting every day. So I tell him, I'm like, oh, do you want to hang out? Like, we can't go inside my dorms because of COVID restrictions and stuff and how you can't have visitors. But if you have a car, can you pick me up and we can go get food somewhere in the city? I think I have these on backwards. Let me fix it. And he would do exactly that. Like, he would drive over to my school like every Friday, Saturday, and we would just like go out places in the city. At this point, we kind of both knew that we were only talking to each other and no one else, and like we wanted to make things work. I knew that he had broken up with that one girlfriend from before like a while back, and we were like truly only seeing each other and going on dates with each other. And then June of 2021 is when he asked me to be his girlfriend, and we've been dating ever since. But yeah, that's our entire lore, love story, our history. Hope you enjoyed.
This is the rom-com ending we needed today, the summer girl to wife pipeline. It's crazy how they had to separate to actually work. He broke up with her freshman year, which honestly was the mature thing to do so they could grow individually, but the block, the silence, the drama, it all had to happen. And that text on the 18th birthday, I'm probably the last person you want to hear from, that is the text every girl waits for, let's be honest. It shows that true connection doesn't just disappear because of distance or time. They built a friendship foundation during COVID, and that's why they're solid now. From braces at a concert to building a life together. It's just nice. It's really nice.
We just went on a journey, didn't we? And if there is one thread pulling all these wildly different stories together, it's the concept of alignment versus forcing it. Think about the first few stories we heard. The husband with the AI addiction, he's trying to force his wife into a digital mold that doesn't exist. He is rejecting reality for a fantasy. The best friend from the second story, she's trying to force a place in a relationship where she doesn't belong, using manipulation and threats. The Hobosexual Date, forcing intimacy to get free housing. In every single one of those toxic situations, you see people trying to bend reality to serve their selfish needs, regardless of who they hurt. It's transactional. It's what can I get from you, rather than who are we together? And then look at the contrast with the Walmart stalker. That was a visceral lesson in trusting your gut. We often gaslight ourselves into being nice. We think, oh, maybe he's just being friendly, or I shouldn't be rude. But that girl survived a potentially dangerous situation because she stopped trying to force politeness and started listening to her raw instinct. That same instinct is what saved the girl with the food returner friend. She realized, I cannot force this friendship to work when our values are this different. But then we pivot to the end, the manifestation story and the high school sweethearts. Notice the difference? There was no forcing. The girl making dua during Ramadan wasn't begging, she was preparing. She was aligning herself with the kind of love she wanted, and when it showed up, even with the crazy lion coincidences, it flowed. The high school sweethearts, they tried to force it early on and it broke. But when they let go, grew up, and came back together naturally, it worked.
I think the takeaway for us today is about the audacity of self-worth. The wife who took off her bikini top had the audacity to say, I am not ashamed. The girl who blocked her ex had the audacity to protect her peace. And the girl who prayed for a husband had the audacity to ask God for exactly what she wanted, down to the details. We live in a world that tries to shrink us. It tries to edit us like AI photos, or silence us in parking lots, or guilt us into paying for a friend's steak dinner. But your power lies in your ability to see things for what they are, to call out the toxicity, to trust the intuition that screams, run, and to hold space for the beautiful things that are actually meant for you. You don't need to be photoshopped to be loved. You don't need to compete with a pick-me girl to be chosen. And you certainly don't need to settle for a love that doesn't feel like an answered prayer. What about you? Have you ever had a moment where your gut saved you, or where letting go of something actually brought it back to you better than before? Let me know in the comments. I read them all. Take care of yourselves and trust your gut. Peace.